What's up, guys and gals out there on YouTube? So this is going to be a real short video today. I got here in my hands some ABS, and I've had this ABS and another roll of ABS that's on the printer right now since the beginning, since I first got the Anycubic i3 Mega. Now the Anycubic i3 Mega is an open-faced 3D printer, so it doesn't 3D print ABS very well. This stuff, if anybody's ever printed ABS, if you haven't printed ABS, it's more heat resistant. It's not heat resistant, but it's more heat resistant than PLA. It can withstand higher temperatures, so it doesn't melt as easy. With PLA, you can take a blow dryer, not a heat gun, and you can just blow dry it and then flex it around and get it to move and stuff. Not the same thing with ABS. ABS is a plastic that most things are made out of, like Legos, for example, are made out of ABS. Bottle caps are made out of ABS. There's all sorts of stuff in regular society. Most of the plastic that you would get is made out of ABS plastic, but it's mostly blow molded. ABS is one of those that it's real sensitive to coolness. So you have to jack the extruder up, and you have to jack the bed temperature up in order to get it to work right, and then you have to have an ambient temperature of about 80 degrees Celsius in an enclosed area to get it to work right. And now some of you guys know that I've been trying. I've got some decent prints. This one I actually did in the other filament. His top thing came off, but I did that in open face. So little tiny things like this sometimes you can get away with, but I had to try and print this thing. I put a ton of spray adhesive down on the bed before printing it, just to keep him on there, and I jacked the temperature on the printer up to like 260 since it was open face, to try to keep at least around him kind of an ambient temperature of 80 degrees, but that's actually too high for ABS. You don't want to run your extruder at that level, and ABS, I think I printed him about 3 times. It would only get to about above his feet, and then it got to above his waist, and then I finally got an actual print of it. So it's not even 50-50. It's not even hit or miss. You'll probably get one decent print out of like 5 or 6 tries, and then he ended up with this whole elephant foot thing where his feet aren't flat on the ground because he started to warp and the feet started to come off the bed. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on printing ABS for really cheap. Really cheap. And I really kind of got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to print PLA because it does what I need to do. I don't have any problems with it. I can just put it on. I can probably print several things before I have to stop and clean the bed all off, clean the nozzle off and stuff, and then I can do a few more prints again before doing it again. PLA is just so easy to print with. And I had, I was doing these cosplays. I've been doing these cosplays in a week at a time, that I didn't want anything to kind of screw that up. You guys can hear the printer printing right now behind me. And it's printing ABS at the moment. So I'm going to give you the tips. I've got a picture right here. It's just a random print that I had. This print wasn't going to come until after the Infinity Stone videos. And now it's going to be kind of, well, it's still going to be after, but it's going to be at the end, and that's going to be the one that we kind of finish with, because I had to have something to print on it, and I wanted something that was big to see if I could print big cosplay, and if I couldn't, then I wanted to see if I could break the bigger cosplay down even more into smaller things and see if I could still kind of get away with maybe making a helmet or something. So I've started this Power Rangers, the Red Ranger, the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, and the first couple prints I did, well, let me tell you from the beginning. I found a box in my garage, just a cardboard box, cheap as hell. If you're going to use a box, which I'm using a box, and that's what this video is all about, is just going out and finding a box to put it in. It's not as insulated, so you might want to keep the little ones. If you have a good sturdy box and you really want to tape it up and take the time and stuff like that, it will hold an 80 degrees Celsius inside of it. An ambient temperature, and it will print bigger ones. I got one bigger one to print, and I really just took the time to tape it up. But if you're kind of open, the first time that you kind of take your print off, it gets annoying trying to take it all off and then set it all back up. So I just kind of raggedy-anned it and made smaller prints. So that's kind of you can do it. It's not as insulated as foam, but you can get the ambient temperature inside of it to stay at 80 degrees Celsius. That's number one. You want to get it to up to 80 degrees Celsius inside of the box. So when you turn it on, get everything set up, and then turn on the printer and get it all taped up and try to get all the openings shut as much as you possibly can, and then preheat your printer to ABS. So my printer preheated to ABS automatically goes to 240 degrees on the extruder and 80 degrees on the bed. And so I just do the preheat and I let it preheat. And after it's gotten up to 240 and 80, then I just wait. I give it about 10 minutes so the ambient temperature inside of the box can build to 80 degrees Celsius all inside of the box. Now, you're gonna have to open the box to get in and push the button to start printing your actual part. And so I just made kind of a little opening in the side that I can kind of peel open and go in and do it, and it's real fast. Anycubic I3 Mega's got a touch screen, so it's real fast to do it. If you got a CR10 or something, you want to do the same thing. You can set the actual print thing outside of the box, and then you never have to look inside the box until the print's done. So that would be a whole lot easier. But as long as the inside is at 80 degrees Celsius, it's kind of hard to you're not going to let all of that out by reaching into a small opening and then running or putting in the print. You know, you're not going to let a whole 80 degrees Celsius out by putting a little hole in it and then starting the print and then closing it back up. It's not going to, as long as you wait. You know, I wait about 5 to 10 minutes prior to printing, letting it just preheat. And it gets a little bit over 80 degrees Celsius, so by the time I open it and start the print and shut it again, it doesn't even drop below 80 degrees Celsius, so it stays at an ambient temperature. It's kind of hard to let it all out. Number two, put a brim on it. The brim that goes around your print. It's an adhesive on Cura, or I think they've got it in other 3D printing slicers. Put a brim on it. All it does is it's one layer, and you can make it as wide or as small as you want. I make it pretty wide. I think it's 4 millimeters wide or something like that. I'll put it up here and show you guys what my brim is set at so you guys can see it. But it makes a pretty wide brim. This is one of the brims right here. And all it is basically is it puts that, this is the print, well, this is the brim of the print. So it puts a brim down on the bed, and then it starts your print in the middle of the brim. So basically, if your print starts to go this way or this way, and your print itself actually starts to lift off the bed, the brim catches it, and it gives it just a little bit more adhesive. If you don't put a brim on, you can really easily get elephant's foot. It can really easy. Just a section of just a section of the print comes up off the bed and it gets a little air off of it, just a little bit of pressure to the top will make it fall over, and it sucks really bad. And it puts a brim around not only your print itself, but it puts a brim around your support. And number three, use an adhesive. I've heard hairspray is really good. There's some really good hairsprays that you can go out and use. For your own printer, if you're not using an Anycubic i3 Mega, if you're using something else. I've also heard that ABS sticks to aluminum like crazy. So you might want to go get you just an aluminum sheet to put on your bed or something. I'm not sure how that affects your bed temperature or anything, but some people use an aluminum sheet to put down. I've never used it, so I can't vouch for it. What I use is, you can get this craft foam spray from Walmart for very, very cheap. And what I do is just like spray paint, you just shake it up, and I just all down from one side down to the back, and then I take a razor blade, one of those long razor blades like this, and I just follow where I sprayed and get it spread out throughout the whole thing. Now this is going to dry every time that it's cold. It's going to dry, but as soon as the bed heats back up, you can spray it down once and use it for multiple prints until you clean it off of your bed. Because every time that the bed heats up to 110, it resets this. It returns it kind of like a liquefied adhesive, and it gets stickier. So I really like using this. I just kind of put it on a little heavy. The brim sticks to it like crazy, and I have no problems with the prints falling over or anything. So get you a good adhesive, you can use something like this or hairspray. Hairspray comes off of the bed a little bit easier. This stuff right here, you let the bed cool down, and once the bed cools down, you can take something like this. This has a handle to it. It's just a thing that I printed off. It's supposed to have a handle to it, but I've just been using the front piece. You can see that I've got ABS on here because I've been scraping stuff off. So after every so many, just so you don't ruin your bed or anything, just let the bed cool down all the way, and then you just take one of these, and it's real easy. You just scoot along, and it comes right up off the bed. Number 4, we're going to talk about temperatures. Your bed temperature, you want to put your bed temperature. I found what's best for me, and I've seen a lot of other videos from other people, and this is where I kind of started my experimenting with the temperatures and stuff with. I kind of seen what everybody else suggested. I seen people suggest from 105 all the way to 110, and then I seen another person say it's best just at 100. And then the extruders, I seen different temps and stuff. Basically, I went to 260, which is as high as my printer goes, and started working my way down just to see what did the best. And then with my bed, I went from the bottom. It starts at 80. When you do the ABS thing, it starts at 80, and I went upwards. And I found, for me, the best thing for ABS is a bed temperature of 110 degrees Celsius and an extruder at 240 degrees Celsius. That's what I found, and it works perfectly for me. I haven't had any elephant foot problems. I haven't had any warping problems. It keeps the box at an ambient temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, and it just prints perfectly. The only problem that I've had is I haven't figured out the right speed for the extruder to go in, and so there's a lot of ghosting on my parts. But building cosplay stuff, ghosting doesn't matter because I Bondo over the top of everything and make it smooth. So none of that really matters. And that's basically all you need to know, those 4 things to printing ABS. I don't have any more for ABS for you guys. Those are my 4 tips, and if I figure out anything else while I'm printing with ABS, I'm going to start ordering some more ABS to try some different ABS. I don't even remember the brand of this ABS here or the red ABS that I'm using right now. That's how long I've had them. Maybe some more expensive ABS may be different or not, but if you want to print ABS, the whole point of this video is if you want to print ABS, there are some real cheap ABS filaments out there, and using a box from Walmart, just a box, or if you got a box out in your storage like I did, just a cardboard box. It doesn't catch fire or anything. It doesn't get hot enough to catch fire. You can feel the sides of it. It is a little bit warm, but it's not hot enough to catch fire. Yeah, and then it's big enough that the bed doesn't touch in the back or the front. So there's no immediate heat touching the box itself. In fact, the box is only experiencing the 80 degrees Celsius ambient temperature on the inside, and that's not hot enough to catch fire, and it works just fine. Now I'm going to go, like I said earlier, I'm going to go and build an actual box for the Anycubic I3 Mega that has a door and all sorts of stuff on it. But if you want to start printing ABS, and you want to start printing ABS right now, and you have an Anycubic i3 Mega, it's a perfect solution just to see if you like ABS. You know, some people may not like it. Maybe you don't like the hassle of it. You don't like the fact that, well, I can't show you now, my razor blade just dropped. But if you print a part in ABS, you can take a razor blade and literally carve right into it. One of the things that I loved about it was when I got the parts out and I glued them all together, I took a 220 grit sandpaper and started sanding it down and got it smooth as hell. It's like cutting out a whole process part of the cosplay thing, because it's not as hard of a plastic as PLA. PLA you can only sand so much, and then you've got to put a Bondo or wood putty or something, or use the 3D XD3D stuff, I don't remember what it's called, or something to get the layer lines to go away. In this, you can basically sand the layer lines away to a certain point, unless they're deeper layer lines, and then it's just a lot less bondoing. But those are the four things that I can tell you right now. If you want to just get out and try using ABS, and I suggest everybody to try every filament, as many filaments as you want. Find the best filament for you that you enjoy, and make that stuff. They've got some really good filaments out there. We'll put out the Eye of Agamotto Infinity Stone cosplay on Thursday. We'll see you guys later. Y'all have a good one. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you guys can come back every time that a video is uploaded, and enjoy some good cosplay printed stuff and some informative 3D printing videos. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.